Hi guys. Okay guys, today I decided to do this live stream because a lot of you have been asking some questions, especially about the cost of flight training. So we are going to be talking about that today, like the cost of flight training, how much the total thing is going to cost you, the reason why I don't like talking about school fees, like the fees, and also some scholarships I know about, not just scholarships I know about, and how to apply, like age limit for applications. So guys, these are some of the things that we are going to be talking about today. So if you're here, if you're online, I want you to, just make sure you say hi. I want to see your comments. I want to see your comment, guys. So we are going to be starting now. So if you come online, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure you leave a comment so that I will be able to see them. Okay guys, the total cost of flight training, it's going to be costing you from about, let me say, 2.5 million to about 9 million. I want to leave that range. The reason why I want to leave that range is because I don't want to put it, I don't want to tell you this is a certain amount, because things can actually change. A lot of things can change. The school can decide to change things, the government can decide to change things, economy can change things already. See you. Welcome on board. Okay guys, as I was saying, things can change, so that's why I don't talk about the cost of, as in the exact cost of flight training. But now I just want to be open to you and tell you it's going to be from this range to this range, about 2.5 million to, let's say, about 9 million thereabout. And it's cheap in Nigeria. Like, I think Nigeria, I'm sure Nigeria is the cheapest school for flight training. Is the cheapest in the whole wide world, is the cheapest, and there's no place that you can get it as cheap as you're getting it in Nigeria. So if you want to come for flight training, I think Nigeria is a good place. You might spend some time, I mean, like, yeah, you might spend time because they are not really conservative with their time management. That's the truth. You might spend time, but you will get value for what you paid for. You will get value for what you're giving. So that's something I want to be sincere with you about. So I've just told you the range, and now I want to tell you why I don't talk about the school fees. A lot of people come on my Instagram page and ask me, okay, Blessing, what's the school fees? What's the exact school fees for NCAT, and how much do they pay? You see, I'm not a school management, so I feel I'm not in the school management. Sorry, that's the wrong word. Okay, I can see another person has joined us. Welcome. I'm not in the school management, guys, so I can't tell you that this is the exact amount that they charge. In fact, it would be wrong for me to tell you, to give you that information, because I might tell you today that maybe they charge, let's assume they charge like 20 million. Let's assume they don't charge 20 million, but let's assume it's 20 million. If I come and be like, guys, they actually charge 20 million, and you now come and they now tell you it's 10 million, you are going to feel that will I say I deceived you, or I didn't tell you the truth. That's how you're going to feel about it. But that was the information I had at that time. So I don't like to talk about school fees. I prefer to let you get to the school website and check, like, what is the school actually giving at that time for whatever course. Is it flying? Is it cabin crew? Is it the SFO course? Hi Kelvin, Avi Kelvo Gaming, welcome. It's nice seeing you. Just make sure you leave a thumbs up to this video. So it's not good to like give a particular stuff and say, okay, they charge 2 million or they charge 3 million, and now when you come, things have changed. It's going to look like a fraud. So I don't do that. I prefer that you go by yourself to the school website and go and check it by yourself. Like, that's what I prefer. Hi, George. George is online. That's really nice. That's really nice. Okay, Kelvin. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, okay, I'll keep calling you Kelvin because you know your name here is Kelvo Gaming. So I thought maybe you're just saying Kelvo Gaming for something. Welcome, welcome, Kelvin. So, guys, like I was saying, I don't talk about that school fees stuff, and it's best for me and it's best for you, so that you don't feel you're being deceived. You don't feel, okay, wait till she even said it's 20 million today, then tomorrow she said it was 5 million. That's why I don't do that. It's better I leave you on your own to go and check about it. Then when you now ask me, if peradventure someone is trying to fraud you, because I've had people that they've come to ask me, Blessing, I heard that the form that they're selling the form for because online the form is about 10,000. If you're buying online, maybe you can get it like 11,000, but if you're buying from the school, you can get it exactly 10,000. So some people come and tell me that somebody said they will sell the form for them 15,000 or 20,000. That is totally like out of it. So if you now give me a feedback and say, okay, I saw the school fees at so amount and I know that is not it, then I can now tell you that, oh, that is not it. Oh, make sure, so that you don't get defrauded, make sure you pay so amount or call the school to find out. So that is part of why I don't give a talk about school fees. It's not in my place. I'm not in the school management. I don't want people to get defrauded. I don't want people to get the misconception about it. So guys, I said I'm going to tell you that today because people keep asking me that question. Blessing, what's the school fees? What's the school fees? What's the school fees? So I don't feel that I don't want to tell you about the school fees. It's just that I'm trying to be very, very much careful. So guys, another thing I said we're going to talk about today is scholarships that I know about, because that's another issue people have. They keep talking about the fact that they don't have money to sponsor themselves, and I understand. I'm telling you, a lot of people are in these shoes, guys. A lot of people are in these shoes. They want to do flying, there's no money, and maybe some of them, their parents, one of their parents is like dead. Like I saw a comment from, I think it's Suhari. If you're online, just say hi. I saw a comment from her and she was trying to make me understand that, okay, her dad is like dead. Okay, I can see. Okay, George is asking me about if I should talk about the NCAT badges. Okay, I'm going to talk about that, George. Let's just go step by step together. I'm going to talk about that. So I saw a comment from Suhari and she was telling me that her dad is dead. Okay, like one of her parents, I can't really remember which of her parents, but one of her parents is actually dead and she wants to do flying. You see, it touches my heart. Like I feel it so much because she's not the only one in these shoes. A lot of persons, they want to do flying. That's their dream, that's their aspiration, but they can't just get there because of one issue or the other. So guys, I want to just give you some scholarships. Like if you're in Nigeria, the major scholarships I know about is there are federal government scholarships, state scholarships, and when airlines, like nowadays, like Air Peace, I really don't want to be saying this, but I've heard of Air Peace sponsoring people. I've heard of there are airlines that sponsor people. They don't just sponsor people during type ratings. Like if you have a kind of relationship with them, maybe you've been working with them. That's why I always say, don't just wait to start at the flying. If peradventure you don't have money now, don't wait to start at the flying. You can start from SFO, you can start from cabin crew. I don't know if you've seen a lot of people, they started from being cabin crews and their companies saw their interest. In fact, then they saved up money. Then when they went to flight school, their company saw that, oh, this person is going, and they give them some amount of money. So that's why I always advise that if peradventure you don't have money now, start from somewhere. Come and do the SFO course. Like it's quite cheap. It's not up to ₦1,000,000. Come and do the cabin crew course. It's for 3 months. Like here in NCAT, the cabin crew course is for 3 months, and the pay is not that much. It's not even up to like 500K. So it's something you can enroll in. Then when you join a company and you're working, you're saving up, they can see your interest and they can decide to sponsor you. But if you just stay at home and you feel that, like, okay, there's nothing much, I will just wait, because before you start working for that kind of money, it's going to take a while. Imagine you saying you want to work on a job of like 100K for I don't know how long you work on a job for like 100K to get about maybe 9 million or 10 million or 20 million. You will need to work for a while. That's what I'm trying to say. So instead of that, get into a company by maybe SFO, flight dispatch, by operations. Okay, yeah, they are the ones that handle the operation. By cabin crew, by any course as visible as it is. Then when you come in, I've seen a lot of people, they were doing SFO. They are even here in NCAT. They were doing SFO courses, and now they are doing flying courses. And one way or the other, their company will definitely sponsor them. In fact, they have a better advantage in the sense that if they go back to the airlines, they will be easily absorbed because they were already with that airline before they came to school. So guys, that's something I want you to consider. Don't just stay. And so guys, let me go back to the scholarship before I run too much, because you know, as I'm talking to you guys, like I just feel like I'm opening my heart to you, like just telling you what I feel about all this. And thank God it's a live stream. We don't need to do a lot of editing because it can be so tiring. So guys, here, as I was saying, there are federal government scholarships, there are state scholarships, airlines also sponsor, and I just finished explaining the fact that airlines sponsor. And also now, let's talk about states before we go to federal. If you want a scholarship from your state, they can actually give you if they see your interest. Most states will not want to sponsor people from just leaving from secondary school. I need to be sincere with you about that. That doesn't mean you cannot be an exception. Trust me, you can be an exception. But most states, for the flying course, they might not want to sponsor straight from secondary school, but they can decide to sponsor you. But if you just finish your university, they see that okay, this person has finished university, this person has graduated well. Like I told you in one of my previous videos about the fact that there's this state currently, I think Anambra, there's this state, I can't remember the name, so I don't give a wrong information. There's this state that just called some of their people for interview, and one of their criteria, which was actually shocking to me, was you must have a 2-1. You must have finished university, and you must have graduated with at least a 2-1. Can you imagine the kind of qualifications they are giving? So imagine if you're just leaving from secondary school and you want to come into flight school, and you're saying that you want a scholarship, and now this state is giving that benchmark. You might not be able to meet up. But if okay, yeah, George is correcting me. He said yes, it's Anambra. Thank you very much, George, for that. You see, Anambra just called, and they are like, you must get a 2-1. So it's something that if you don't meet up that standard, you will not be able to get the scholarship. So I want you to get encouraged. I want you to instead of thinking, okay, let me just leave secondary school and come to flying and look for a scholarship. Instead, I would advise, go through a university so that when anybody wants to sponsor, they consider you a good candidate to sponsor. That doesn't mean if you leave from secondary school, you're not going to be sponsored. Don't get me wrong. You can be sponsored, but they will consider somebody that has left from university a more viable candidate than somebody that is just leaving from secondary school. So that's it for the state, and a lot of states are willing to sponsor if you persist. There's something someone told me when I was also trying to rush for my scholarship. He said that, you see, these guys have a lot of things to think about, and I agree. You're coming for a scholarship and you're not persistent. These guys have the government wahala to think about. That's one. They have like the government stuff to think about. They have several other political things to think about. They are also thinking, if I give this lady this scholarship, or if I give this guy this scholarship, will it add to our political manifesto? Like they come and be like, you know, the way people want to do things, like we sponsor 20 people, we sponsor 5 people, they will it add to the manifesto of the state? Those are the things they think about. So they have a lot of things to think about. So when you're coming to chase a scholarship with them, I would love it that you persist. Don't just come once and give up. That's why a lot of people might not get. You just come once and you feel these guys are not answering me, it's not possible, and you just chill. No. If you come and you keep persisting, you keep pushing for it, you keep like giving yourself to it, trust me, you are going to get the best. But if you don't persist at all, you just come once and you give up, you're not going to get it. That's for the state scholarship. So I'm trying to tell you that a lot of states are willing to sponsor their people, and they just want to see that this person is ready, this person is very viable for that. So before I go to the last thing about age limit, I want to talk about this question that Judge actually asked about. And okay, I was trying to go through this. I was trying to talk about the question that Judge asked about. He asked about this flying batches, like aplets. And this, I've said before on one of the videos, I don't know if you saw it, that here in NCAT, here in Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, they don't allow student pilots to wear aplets. They only allow the instructors wear aplets. I think, I'm just trying to think for them, I don't know. I think they do it because of seniority ranking or so. They want to know a difference between students and instructors. I think that's why they do it. I really don't know the exact reason why they do it. So they only, anybody you see wearing bashes, especially during flying and like around NCAT, just know that that person is an instructor. And so captains here in Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, even all over the world, they wear 4 bars. Then other people, I really don't know how they rank it here in NCAT, but I know that captains wear 4 bars. So anybody that is not wearing up to 4 bars is not yet a captain here in NCAT. So that's something you should note. So anybody you see wearing aplets inside the school premises is actually an instructor. It's either the person is a flying instructor or the person is an engineer, because the engineers too, they wear aplets. They wear aplets on their overall. They wear aplets on their white and black. So that's something you should know. Don't think too much about the aplets. It's something that will definitely come. Sometimes we student pilots here, because we see our colleagues outside the country, they wear it. So here, sometimes we wear it to like snap pictures, to, because on a normal, like if you go solo, you're supposed to wear like 1 bar. If you get your PPL, you're supposed to wear like 2 bars. And if you get your CPL, you're supposed to be having like 3 bars. But if you now go to the airlines, then every airline has their own way that they try to differentiate, like between senior first officer, second officer, and all that. So that's where the issue used to come up. It's not really an issue. Airlines just want to, like, it's also a seniority kind of thing. If you now see someone with 3 bars, they'll say, okay, this person is a senior first officer. If you see somebody with 4 bars, obviously you know the person is a captain. If you see somebody with like 2 bars, you know, okay, he's a junior first officer or he's a second officer. They just want to keep a seniority ranking so that, you know, if you see somebody, you want to be able to identify them. But here in NCAT, guys, student pilots don't wear aplets. So I don't want you to bother yourself too much about that. Student pilots don't wear aplets. So if you're ready to come to NCAT, just know at the back of your mind, you're not really going to be wearing aplets till you leave. So sometimes we just do it like to snap pictures. If you're here, I can see more people are joining us, guys. If you're here, I just want to give a hi, and make sure you click the like button, guys. Click the like button. I would like to see it. And comment, tell me your name if you just came online, because I can see some people are kind of joining us. So guys, the last thing I'm going to talk about before I give my, you know, I usually give my advices at the end of every video because I want you to be your best. So before I want to talk about age limits, like applying. Hi, Mochinda, Sintali, and Shawo Raymond. Welcome, Shawo. And Mochinda, welcome, guys. I'm really happy you guys are joining me on this live stream. It's so nice. Information is great. That's what I want to keep doing for you guys. Like, it gives me so much joy when you get the right information and you're able to use it. Like, I just got an email from someone today and I was really happy, guys. I was really happy. I just saw, before I started this video, actually, I saw an email from a student currently here in NCAT, and he was like, thank you very much for your videos. I actually got admission into NCAT. It gives me so much joy. Okay, I see George is asking another question. I mean, if they have 2 different set of students. Okay. I'm trying to see that message. Live charts. Okay, I can see, George, you asked, I mean, if they have 2 different set of students for a particular course, e.g., I got the offer of admission, was supposed to start this week. Oh, it's going away. I was supposed to start this week, but my state government is promising to pay, so I'm grounded. Guys, okay, yeah, let me quickly talk about this. Another thing that can really help you. George, thanks for asking this question. Let me tell you something that can really, really help you. If you've gotten admission and your state government are promising to pay, what you can do, tell them to write a letter, like a letter from the government, like promising that they say they are promising to pay. Get a letter from them. that they should state that they are promising to pay, that the school should give them time. Tell them they'll put your name, your email, and everything. So they are going to tell you that on the letter they are going to, I wish I have mine now. I would have been able to read it to you. But when they were also promising to pay for me, I had to get a letter. And in the letter, they wrote that, okay, they are telling my rector that they are going to pay at so time. I should just give them time. They should allow me continue. So that was what I did. When I brought that letter to them, it kind of, the school understood that, okay, she's here and the state is promising to pay. And so when I went back with that letter telling them that, see what you gave me, oh, this you promised to pay, it was now easy for them to consider it. So if your state is thinking about paying and they are promising you that, don't worry, we are going to pay, just tell them they should give you a letter that you can bring to the school. The school might accept the letter for a time, like they might have a limited time where they accept the letter, but they will definitely accept the letter. Then you can start. Then if peradventure the school will now help you to follow. The school, they can help you. It's not like it's their sole responsibility. So I don't want you to think that they are so responsible for it, but the school can help you to like talk to the state. Like they can make calls for you. That's the bursary department. They can make calls for you asking that, okay, you promised to pay, when are you going to pay? It can also help fasten up the payment. Then if peradventure the school start disturbing before the time the government pays, you can take that letter they gave you back and say, you promised to pay, oh sir, ma, please, when are you going to pay? The school is disturbing me, I can't resume. Thanks for asking that question, because I've even forgotten to talk about this. Like, I've not talked about this on this channel before. But if they are saying they are going to promise to pay, ask for a letter. That's that promising letter that they are saying they are going to pay. Tell them to write a letter for you, coming to give to the school that they are promising to pay. I can also see that someone else asked a question and he's saying, okay, Ronald, like, say, okay, the stream 2, like a month ago, he's not resumed with the stream because he's waiting for a feedback from his state. Okay, guys, seriously, that's one thing I want you to do. If you're waiting for feedback, ask for a letter of commitment. They are going to state that they are going to take care of your feeding, your accommodation, your school fees. Then you bring it to the school. The school will accept the letter for a while. They might tell you, okay, we are going to give you like 3 months, we are going to give you like 2 months, but it's better. You're not missing out. The government knows that you're in the school. The government knows that they are responsible. But if you just stay and say you're waiting for them to respond, it might take a while. Ask them for a letter. That's what I'm going to advise you. If you have any other questions, now that I'm still online, because this live stream will be ending soon, guys, make sure you ask your questions before we go. Okay, you thank you very much. He said, I'm filled with so much wisdom. Is the goodness of God, and I'm trying to remember I'm trying to remember all these things that can really help you. So please ask for a letter. It's really going to help. So lastly, guys, I said we're going to be talking about age limit. There's something I discovered, before I said it's like an underground stuff about age limits, like an underground, what they do is like an underground thing about age limits. But I've gotten to discover that it seems like they've reduced their age limit, because with the kind of set of people I'm seeing currently in the flying school, these guys don't look like, okay, 21. Maybe I might be wrong, but they don't look 21, like 22, because underground Nigerian, will I say the schools, I don't want to be specific about any flight school, but I think they were having like an underground age limit. But for now, I think the age limit has been moved up somehow. So I think anybody can actually apply currently. There's no maximum age limit. I don't think there's a maximum age limit currently for you to apply to any flight school here in Nigeria. I'm saying this not because okay, Raymond, yeah, okay, I've answered your question. That's so good. I'm so happy that I've answered that. I'm saying this because of the set of people I'm seeing now. Maybe in my time it was different. They had some hidden kind of age limits that they wanted, but now it's different. You can come in. I think they've increased the age limit. So if you're thinking of how to apply, what to do, I think it's something you should consider. Just apply. Don't think about it too much. Apply. If they give you, fine, but make sure you do your best in your orals, your written exams, especially the first stage of the exams, because I noticed that once you can pass that first stage and pass the second stage, you're like into the school, except medicals. Except medical disqualifies you. If not, once you can pass that first stage and second stage, I think you're inside the school. That's just what I think, guys. You're inside the school. So on the next live stream, we are going to be talking about some other stuff, pilot medicals, some different other stuff. So guys, hope you enjoyed this live stream, and I'm happy for those guys that joined me from the beginning to the end. Like, thank you so much, guys. It's really nice, like, connecting with you, especially in person, live, without thinking too much about how to edit, how to do all that. So thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions, you can leave them in this video. Maybe when I come back in the evening, because I was about going to fly, if I come back in the evening, I will try to like answer those your questions. Maybe likely in the evening we can also do a live stream, like chit